Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Save Slot 3 Gamescast. I am your still coughing host, here with Gizmo, joined this week by Massive Dad, Chris Bengali,
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Craig Bean. Craig.
Hey Dave.
Boys, another week has gone by. I've still got a cough. I have got a mustache. Everything's great in the world of video games. So, this week we're going to start off with what we've been buying, what we've been playing, because I like to change it up, and we're going to start with Craig. Craig, what have you bought? What have you played this week, my man?
I think I bought anything. No, I haven't bought anything. In terms of playing, I'll start on what me and Pengi have played together.
Hell yeah.
And that we have now finished Little Nightmares 3.
We have.
We finished that yesterday. It's not very good, Dave. I'm gonna be honest with
Oh,
you, mate.
really? Oh,
No,
dear.
it's not very good. It wasn't very good. I think
Yeah.
it was in the low 70s on OpenCritic. I'd even say that's a little bit generous, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I would say like high 60s, like a 68.
Maybe flat.
I would feel
I maybe if you
comfortable
told me
with.
to put a score on that, I'd be like a 5, maybe. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I didn't think it was great. I think maybe the ideas run its course a little bit. Maybe there's ran out of ideas, even though it's a new team, so you struggled. Like, you know, surely there should have been loads of new ideas, and the
Mm.
execution just, I don't think it was that good. There's a lot of the puzzles and the stealthy parts were more just frustrating than anything. I think Pengi probably felt the same. Like,
Yeah.
because you would like it wasn't the most it wasn't like teaching you to do stuff in the most intuitive of ways, and then you would die, and it felt like it took a long time for you to get back in, and then you were sat down, and you had to stand back up again. It all just felt really long and slow, and
And
it was
everything
what
needs to be precise. It's like, oh, Craig needs to climb up here, right? So I need to boost him up. I'm like, oh, I'm facing like having trouble and stuff like that. And I was like, I dread to think it's what it because if you're playing single player, it's an AI, so I don't know if like they're really good. But I'm also thinking they might be going to be really bad. It's going to make it even more frustrating.
yeah,
Unless because they're AI, the CPU, they automatically take the correct line or something. I don't know, but yeah, there's a few times like I'm running here. Why is it not working? It's like oh, you need to be like this line, be straight like 1 centimeter either way. You're going to be poor or something. It's very fiddly.
yeah. It was 4 hours or so, wasn't it? And it felt like a
Yeah.
long 4 hours. That's even with co-op as well. As you know,
Yeah.
Dave, co-op makes everything better.
It
And
really
even with
does.
co-op, having Pengi to chat shit about football or whatever with whilst we were
Yeah.
doing this, and you're still like, God, I'm ready for this to be over, and it's only been 4 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like
So
this
yeah,
DLC coming, and it's like we are not playing the DLC.
no, absolutely not. Yeah, not great. I'll be honest with you. I think we should have gone for the Lego one instead, Pengi.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about it. I'm just looking on it. It's 20 quid at the moment. It's not on sale. When that
Oh,
goes
that's not
on
bad.
sale, no.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if we'd do our most disappointing games of the year like we normally do, but that would
We
be one
will.
that's high on my list, I think.
Mm. Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird, like you're saying it run its course, but they had, remember, Little Nightmares like showcase. They showed this and anime coming, and there's the remaster of the first one coming, and loads of it. The comic book pushing, yeah, and it's like, oh, I think Namco might put all their eggs in the wrong basket here.
Yeah, I didn't realize doing a remaster the first one. Does the first
They
game
are.
need a remaster,
So I'm coming to
really?
Switch 2 on physical as well. I think it's
Yeah,
20 quid, 25 quid, something like that.
yeah, something like that. It's pretty soon. It's either this month or next month.
I
It's pretty
assumed it
soon.
was both games, so that's sad that it's just the first one because
No, it's not
they
the first one.
they
They
re-release them
did
both
re
together all the time, don't they?
Yeah, they did an enhanced version, I think, of the second one already, but this is like a more enhanced version of the first one. So
Oh,
yeah,
Enhanced
I expect
Plus.
it's like, yeah, I guess it's like 4K now or whatever on a PS5. But yeah,
If that can't get to 4K on a Switch 2, I'd be worried because that came out. When was Little Nightmares 2? Was that Xbox One or was that 360?
it was Xbox One.
Yeah, so that's even that's 10 years ago probably. God,
Yeah.
God. Oh, nice, Krieger. Anything else?
Um, yeah, so I played more Pokemon. I think I am rank E now. I've beaten the streamer girl,
Huge.
Canaria, whatever she's called. Now I'm doing it's like, oh, you've got some Mega Evolutions you need to go fight. I fought two of the three. I think I've got a Bannet I need to fight. Is that how you say it? Bannet?
Yeah.
I need to fight him. I did try it once, and it's not a good fight because the chaotic nature of the battling system in that game compared with the chaos of that battle, I was like, oh, this is just carnage.
Yeah, some of those are
I
quite
also,
hard if you don't know the
yeah,
types.
yeah, well, yeah, I realized I needed a dark type, so I've been leveling up my is it Absol, something
Absol,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like the main dark type I have, so I've been leveling him up just to try and get through that. I did really like what's the fire flying like fighting bird thing you fight that's mega evolved. It's like a luchador thing.
Oh, Howlucha.
That's it. That's a cool Pokemon. I like that. Like a luchador flying bird thing. Very cool. I
Hell
like
yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty cool one. I had one of them.
yeah, I want one. So yeah, I'm still going that, still enjoying that. And then I've played quite a lot more Ghost of Yotai after not playing that a huge amount for the last couple of weeks. I think I'm like 42, 43 hours now. I've done a hell of a lot of the open world stuff at this point. Like I'm getting the like, oh, you've done like all the hot springs. Here's the trophy for that. Oh, you've done all the like forts. Here's the trophy for that. You've done all the wolf bits. There's the trophy for that. So I'm obviously can't be much more like areas to unlock if any at this point. So it's a lot of it will now just be getting through the story.
I've
I've
got.
got
There's a lot more that opens up, Craig. I'll be honest. You're nowhere near. If I could, if without spoiling it, the opening up gets wild when you get to about rank C.
oh, sorry, I meant Ghost of Yotai.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were still talking about Pokemon.
Yeah,
There we go. Ignore me,
yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
It's been a long week. Go on.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I've basically just got a lot of story stuff to do now on Ghost of Yotai. A lot of story stuff. Um, so yeah, I'll keep going. I think I'm about 70% according to the PlayStation, but
Hell
like I
yeah.
said, once I've start really hitting the story stuff, I imagine that percentage will start going up like crazy.
And that free is literally like one mission and an epilogue. So
Yeah. I'm guessing you could go back into the open world after if I wanted to do any more.
I'm not saying anything.
That's a no.
Well, just a yes or a no would be good then. Thank you.
Yes, but there's story reasons. So
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
So yeah, I could always go back and do some more if I wanted to get the platinum. I don't know
Yeah.
whether I will or not, to be honest with you. I don't think I've got a single platinum or completion this whole year. I've really like lost interest in, like, I mean, I didn't have much interest in platinums to start with, but I think having like free devices now is really
Oh
like
yeah.
it's not the time to like mess around with that sort of thing. Now it's just tough, isn't it? You're like you finish it, you're like, ah, I'll go to the next one.
Yeah, I've had that thought this year. I've had that thought where I'm like, because I don't think I have either, and I'm kind of
I've
like, yeah, but you've played some. Well,
I already own, like I've only got like 5 platinums this year.
yeah, yeah. It's funny.
I was just saying,
Yeah,
like Alan Wake 2, I would have been really close to. I literally just had a couple of collectibles to go back, and I think I would have got it and like petting a dog and stuff like that. Like, and even then, I was just like, oh, I want to just go play something else. Like, I finished the game. I've done like all the stuff I want to do. Like, I'm good. So
there is too much to play when you have more than one platform. I
yeah,
watched a whole
absolutely.
video on YouTube. There's some guy that does like I don't know how to phrase it, but he's kind of like a like minimalize your gaming thing. He does it's almost like therapy. It's kind of funny actually, but he was saying that like the second you get more than two platforms, you lose control of everything because you just have too much choice. So you can't dedicate like the time you used to do to one platform. It was an interesting concept. I've been watching some of our old podcasts recently just because it's nice to see how we've done, you know. And it's funny because obviously you were so only Xbox for so long, and it's like every week was like I've completed 6 games, I'm on true achievements, and it's like it's quite funny how like 4 years, 3 platforms, you're like I'll just play something
Yeah.
else because there's so much to
Yeah,
play.
yeah, I've always had that sort of like back and forth debate with Bala from G-Namer. It's like I can either look at the positive, like him only Nintendo, or if I went like only PlayStation, and like you get to play like only obviously what's coming up PlayStation. We use Craig's example for only playing an Xbox. You played a variety of games and stuff you might not check out because that's what on your platform. But then also you're missing what I've Nintendo or PlayStation's offering if you're only on things, so you also like depriving the games. There's like a bit of like catch 22. It's like, oh, if I was only on Xbox, I'm missing Pokemon and Ghost of Yotai, but I would have played Keeper, Outer World 2, Ninja Gaiden, for instance. There's a bit of swings and roundabouts in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Mm.
That's it for me playing. I've derailed the conversation already, boys.
It's fine. It's a conversational podcast, Gregor. Pengi, what have you
hmm
bought and played?
So pickups, I've only got two, which is shocking because I've been to a lot of the game shops this
You
week and
have.
I've not bought that much. So one of my things, I think I mentioned it last week when we were going through November games, was the Samus and Viola amiibo. So that's Samus and the motorbike. So I got that. That came this week. No Hyrule Warriors. So I got that. And then on PS3, I got Spec Ops: The Line, and that was the only game I bought.
Oh, what a game!
What a great game.
Yeah,
Have you ever played it, Pengi?
I've never played it. I know the twist, but I've never played it. It's only apparently
It's
6
such a
hours
good
long,
game.
according to Harold the Beat as well. So
Yeah, it's not long. It's literally it's in that era where Gears of War had obviously figured out third person shooting, like cover shooting, and everyone was copying them. And it was literally, it felt like you were playing Gears of War, but it was like modern military with this really dark, like really like well done story. It was a really cool setting as well at the time. Oh, it's great, great game.
yeah. So that's it in the pickups. And then terms of play. So last week I already finished episode 1 through 4 of Dispatch, and then episodes 5 and 6 came out late on a Wednesday, so I finished episode 5 and 6. So just waiting to 7 and 8 now, which will be out on next Wednesday. I think that must be like the 12th or 13th of November. Really good. Dispatch is great. It's a great game thing. So and they've sold. I'm gonna to move to one of the news because I'm talking about it. They have sold over 1 million copies of the game. So yeah, people still want the Telltale like episodic games. It seems. Craig, you have the two of you mentioned you got the most interested in this Dispatch.
Yeah, I do definitely want to check this out at some point. Maybe I might do a little like after I finish Ghost of Yosai, I do some like smaller games like this, like Dispatch, like Keeper, before I start something like big like Outer Worlds 2 straight away. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
that might be when I pick this up. Plus, it will all be out then, so I can just buy it as
yeah,
a one
and
package and
then
play it through in just one
binge
package.
it for 6 hours or 6 7 hours,
Yeah,
whatever it is, like a TV show.
exactly. But I did see like people were tweeting like the stream concurrence, and it was like 135,000 or something like that. And you just think for this sort of game, like that's incredibly that's just fantastic, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, I can
So
see
yeah.
like when it could be like when 7 and 8, like loads of people playing it on s- well Twitch streaming it and on like Steam numbers and stuff like that because people just want to jump on and see what happens with it. Have you got any interest in it, Dave, or none at all? Because it's not really a game per se.
I will surprise you in that yes, I am actually very interested in it, Pengi.
Okay.
I watched a very little bit of the first episode.
hmm
Um, kind of like the vibe. But like I said, I used to quite like the odd Telltale game back in the day. If you
Yeah.
remember from when we started this, but yeah, it's one of those. I just haven't played one in a while. I watched a little bit. I was like, oh no, I kind of like the premise. I kind of like the what I've seen of the story and the characters and
Mm.
stuff and the way the game plays. I was like, oh, you haven't played one of these in a while. So yeah, I'm quite interested. I just don't know what to pick it up on because what you playing it on PlayStation?
Yeah, playing on
You play it on
PlayStation. So
PlayStation. So is it on Steam? I'm assuming. Is it on?
yeah, it's PlayStation and Steam.
Okay,
That's
that's
it.
it. Okay, perfect. So because I was like, I wonder if that would be a good headphones in, playing on the Legion Go type of experience. That was my thinking. But yeah, no, it's one that I'm on the radar. I'll probably wait till it's all out though. That's probably what I'll do and try and
Yeah.
avoid spoilers.
Yeah, so that zone is next week. So.
hmm
For all it out. So that's that. Then, as Craig touched on it, I'm going to move to Keeper. So I started Keeper on my ROG Ally this week because I was watching Game Mess and I was like, oh, I'm watching that. Let's play something on my portal where I'm listening to Jeff and Mike. So yeah, I started Keeper finally. I only played maybe like 40 minutes of it. Um, Simple puzzles and that, but obviously I'm pretty early on. We're using the light to like make flowers grow and stuff and sending the bird out to like carry things map for you so you can move on and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm playing it on the ROG Ally, the first one. I'm playing it 900p, everything on low, apart from textures. I got them at medium, and I'm hovering around 45 frames a second with the 40 frame screen mode on the ROG Ally and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems to be running pretty well, decent frame rate, and looks pretty good. Obviously, playing on such a like I say small screen. Yeah, so that's pretty good, and obviously it's one. I've started and it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm watching more Game Master, kind of funny. Let's play something at the same time. And I don't think it's long. I think it's about 4 hours or something like that, keeper in total. So,
Hmm.
so we've got that one. Little Nightmares we already talked on. Football Manager 26 is obviously now out properly, sort
Oh
of
dear.
thing. So it did an update and things like that. And I don't really know what the update did because I was like, okay, I'm in my second season with Newcastle Women's. I'm in the WSL now. Like, what's the difference? Can I shout at the players? Can I throw a bottle or anything like that? No, I can't do it. Still can't do any of that. Um, done like like the first month and stuff like that, and nothing seemed any different from what I was playing in the beta, to be honest, on FM26. So unless I go look at the patch notes, I wouldn't be able to tell you what the full release has done differently. Stuff like that. I did see Walk the Space, Walk the Space, as they play the PS5 version because everyone's like, "This is made for console," and you played that for a bit on PS5, and it's like, this is definitely not made for console. It's like I don't know how people can like point and click like with a virtual mouse using controller. It's like this is really awkward, and obviously loads of menus trying to go through it. It's like, yeah, yeah. And watching your stream, it's like, yeah, this is still not made for console. So I don't really know what people are saying now. It's just I just don't think it's very good, the new UI and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's been
yeah,
absolutely massacred online. Like I said to you in the chat, it's down to the seventh worst user reviewed game of all time on Steam. Now, if you think about the kind of games that are on Steam, Craig, of
Oh
all
yeah.
time, and I watched another Football Manager YouTuber talk about it, and the patch you run about had 300 notes, and
really.
he went through every single note, and some of the stuff that they put back in is insane, and like some of the crashes that were occurring are wild. But yeah, it's just not finished.
Yeah, I was
They're
getting
just not finished at all.
the only real issue, like I said, I was getting the one like where you're watching a game and you can't really do anything. Where it used to be like encourage players or keep concentration and all that. So it feels like you were doing something. Then if it actually did make a difference, but it did feel you were doing something. And then obviously like the end of the games, like shout, encourage, and like oh you're disappointed. Do you have the options, but just like put a like spin on it sort of thing. And the only other problem that I ever had with the beta, and maybe it's not full, is like sometimes where you go like to sort out your team, you do the team, and then like my team would disappear. I'm like, where's my team gone? And stuff like that. And we're like, even if I put all the players back, it would just like sort of crash and like they're like, oh, you've not selected 11. It's like I have selected 11, and you're like, yeah, I have to like reload a save. I'm like, okay, there's my 11 sort of thing. So that was that thing. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen in the proper game. Then a weird one. I tried on mobile Destiny Rising because I got a new phone and I wanted to see how Destiny Rising ran on it. Seems to run fine. It was weird playing with a touch screen. I don't think I would ever like play it again. Um, but yeah, run fine. The one of the reasons I did try it was there's the Monster Hunter mobile game that looks coming next year, and that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And I feel that would need like more oomph. So I thought, oh, Destiny Rising, that's gonna have a bit of oomph and that behind it. And I just did the tutorial and it seemed to run fine. I just didn't like using the idea of touch controls and the camera and stuff like that. It's not for me.
Is that one
Not
where
for me.
what's the one? What is it? The dog bone? What the camera's called? The one that you can get for
Yeah,
PlayStation.
Backbone.
Last one. Does that
Yeah,
work on it if you set that up?
yeah. And it even comes up when you actually start Destiny Rise. It's like we recommend using a controller, and it's like this is how you connect to DualSense. This is how you connect an Xbox controller, and it's like this is how you connect like random third-party Bluetooth controller and stuff like that, sort of thing. Obviously, a backbone would be an option there, but like I said, it's more of a try it sort of thing. And then it's like, okay, I'm hopefully the Monster Hunter game would work next year. And then the only other thing I've played on PS5 is Echoes of the End, which I am near the end of. I am on chapter 9 of 10, so I have nearly finished it. Yep, I think I said last week it's like a decent double A game from studio is lacking a bit of polish. Like the combat, you see some same animations. It doesn't have like the weight and feel of a God of War, but it's like decent enough combat. So in the puzzles is quite interesting, and it keeps bringing in like new mechanics, like because you've got like powers, so it's bringing in like, ah, you got this new power, and you're gonna have to figure out how to do this puzzle with this new power and stuff like that. Um, the one of the story beats was pretty predictable, sort of thing. But it's like, yeah, it's like a decent double A title that's most probably will go under the radar like this year. A lot of games and stuff like that. I think the first release of it, the reviews weren't particularly good, but the enhanced version already that came out this year, I think it was very positive on Steam. It's like the only place I think, and it's like, yeah, I can get that. I think it's like a good 7-ish out of 10 sort of game. I paid 20 quid for it. It's not bad. It's going to be like 10 hours long with two chapters maybe 11 with two chapters to go. Yeah, it's like being a sort of 5 game between after like Ghost of Yotai and I go for something else big, sort of thing, and that is everything.
Lovely, Pengi.
Hmm.
So what have I been playing? So I haven't bought anything. I did say to Pengi today I have sold my Series S just because I was playing Xbox games on my Legion Go and I actually made £66 profit, Craigo, than what I paid for it. So that's good. Um,
Another one gone.
yeah, well, I don't think I can afford to buy them anymore. The way they fucking put the price up. But yeah, I just haven't really used it for that much. I tried a bit of Ninja Gaiden on it the last week, and then I've just transferred that to the Legion Go, and it looks kind of the same. And I'd rather play in bed, if I'm honest. So, but other than that, I haven't bought anything this week. Excuse me. So in terms of plays, obviously I've been doing my charity streams and charity videos and stuff. So I've played some more Metal Gear Solid Delta with Pengi
Yeah,
guiding me through. I'm not doing great at it. Is probably an understatement. You can watch that on my channel if you want. But yeah, Pengi's witnessed some of the finest stealth action gameplay you've ever seen.
yeah, that's what I would not what I would call it, but yeah.
But yeah, game looks great. It plays a lot better. It's one of those. It feels like a PS2 game. Still. And if you like that, great. If you don't, then you're not going to suddenly start liking it because it looks better, I suppose. But yeah, it's alright. It's one of those. I get why people liked it in 2004, but in 2025, it's aggressively okay. I think is probably the best way to describe it. What else have I played on stream? So I've played some Horizon Chase Turbo, Craig.
Yeah, we did see you playing this the other night.
Yeah, which is just a little indie like outrunny type of game that I've had for yonks. It came to Vita, I think, and that's where I mainly played it. And I just had an urge. I saw it in my library, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit there and play it. Played a couple hours of it. It's a fun game. Recommend. I think there's a sequel. I believe there is a sequel. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
game that's pretty fun. I think Craig would probably quite like it. If I'm honest, it's a cool, like pretty vibey, like lo-fi chill kind of game. So I do recommend that. In a similar vein, I think it's on my list here, but I also played some Wipeout Omega Collection, which is the complete opposite of a relaxing, chilled game. But it's an incredible game. I think it's the best futuristic racing game. Like it's a lot better than Fast Fusion, for example. And I quite like Fast Fusion, but like Wipeout Omega Collection is significantly better and significantly harder. So I got a trophy actually, Craigo, and I think it was play 10 online games, and 2% of people have that trophy. And that's the first trophy I've got. I bought the game when it came out, which I think was 2017, 2016, Pengi, something like that.
Yeah. It's kind of an old game now.
Yeah, and
In-
it's pretty good. But yeah, I think they put it on. I think it's on one of the services. So Craig is definitely worth trying. It's a pretty fun game. What else on the streams? Played some more Mario Kart, obviously. Don't need to talk about it. I've talked about it every week since the game came out. And then, much like Craigo, Pokemon Legends EA. I'm rank B. The story's kind of got cool, to be honest with you. There's a lot of characters from X and Y, and sort of the main story of that game has now suddenly appeared. It does get real hard. Some of the rogue Mega Pokemon fights that you get near the end, Craigo, are absolutely brutally difficult. That you're like having to like pull the Pokemon back and like dodge and dodge and then try and get hits in. If you don't get hits in, they do like killers that will like take the whole party out and everything. So that's pretty fun. It feels like a Final Fantasy boss fight, to be honest with you, some of them. And then some of them are pretty funny. There's one that's really, really funny. But yeah, and the story's got really good. Some of the battles have got hard. I think I fought a trainer that was level, in the one of the side things, was level 78, their team, and that kicked my ass. So I had to go back to that. I also played the online, because there's a load of there's like a free battle pass thing you can't pay for it. It's just a specific online thing. You rank up and you get some rewards that are mega stones for some of the Pokemon you get in the side quests. That I saw in the video for the DLC. So I was like, oh, I haven't tried that. I've tried it. It's really fun because it's really different. It's basically like a 3-minute fatal 4-way. You all have 3 Pokemon, and it basically every time you get a kill, you get a point, and then like when your Pokemon are wiped, you just respawn like a little bit later. And it's got a kind of interesting strategy of obviously you're fighting off one person, and then obviously you've got to be careful of your typing because then someone else is lurking ready to just sort of like snipe you. And it was quite fun actually. I played quite a bit of it, and I do actually recommend it. And that has the whole Z2A gimmick as your ranking, so you start Z and then you work your way out depending on how you do. But yeah, I do recommend that actually. It's quite fun, quite a fun mode, and the rewards are really good. Without spoiling it. So but yeah, I'm enjoying Legends a lot more now that I'm deeper into the game, because I just think I've got used to the fact that it's a different type of game than the classic games. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm not going to get the DLC. I know we're going to talk about it probably in the news, but the DLC looks okay. But I can't justify the 30-odd quid Nintendo were asking for it. So I'll probably finish the game and then sort of move on. And then the only other thing I've played, I've played 2 things. The other thing I've played on Switch was MLB The Show 25. I've had that game since I bought it in America, so I was just playing in bed. Really funny because obviously it's the Switch 1 version, Craigo, and it looks like I don't even think PS2 would be like polite for how it looks. Because obviously now it runs really well now, but it doesn't have dynamic, obviously, assets. So it's running at like 60 frames and it's all really like quick and everything, and like the menus are really slick, but like the actual baseball gameplay is so ugly. Like it might even look like a PSP game. Like there's no textures, like no shadows. It is wild. So that's what they probably had to do to get it to run on the Switch 1. So I'm hoping next year's game will be a Switch 2 version that actually looks like a video game. But yeah, I've enjoyed that. I've been playing as the Dubai Camels in my franchise team, boys. So obviously you can make your own team, and Taunton wasn't an option, even though there is a Taunton, Massachusetts. So sadly, I've had to go as Dubai, and I've made like a Dubai Camel kit, which is quite funny. But yeah, quite enjoying it. Baseball's alright, it's just round, isn't it? That's fun. And then the only other game I've been playing, boys, which is a new game that's just come out to mobile platforms and to Steam, and that's Sonic Rumble. So obviously, Craig, when they put out a free-to-play Sonic game, I've got to try it. It's basically Fall Guys. It's it's not bad. It's very mobile gamey, but it plays really well with the controller, and obviously like the controller bits you have on the Legion Go S. And yeah, I played quite a bit. I played for like 3 hours. It was quite fun. It's one of those. I was just playing it like it's a free-to-play game. It's obviously constantly trying to sell you stuff, but I like Sonic. I like Fall Guys. It runs quite well. It's got a good player base. So I was like, it's not bad. It's not a game I'd run out and buy a Steam Deck to play, by all means. But if like Pengi with his Destiny Rising, you want to try some Sonic goodness, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, that's all.
It seems a bit late, doesn't it? Like, oh, we're gonna make a Fall Guys clone. Like, how many years later? Like 5 or 6?
Well, Sonic is well known for being up with the times, Pengi, as you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the main like thing in the moment is a Sonic 3 movie tie-in, and that film was last year, wasn't it? Last Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like you can get Keanu Reeves again, like you can in every game that they've brought out since that film, because he is the ultimate life form, Pengi. But yeah, that's what we've been buying and playing. So let's move on to the news. Pengi, how many news items have we got?
I've got 11 items of news.
That's a Baker's news desk. Baker's news desk. A Baker's dozen. God, I'm tired. Carry on, Pengi.
Number 1, GTA 6 has been delayed from May to November 19th, 2026. I was gonna 2026.
You said 2019 then. I was like, okay, got back in time.
No. Well, I was gonna say 2025, but that means it will be coming out soon. No, it's next year, November 19th next year. Craig, what do you feel? How do you feel about GTA being delayed to November next year?
No, no, oh God, no.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, Pengi.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how
I was
you.
looking forward to playing it. Was it May? It was originally going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, May.
And now that's like, it's more than a year away again. How's that
Yeah.
happened?
It is
How's that
1 year.
happened? It's just very strange. It does like because obviously they showed that first trailer quite a while ago at this point. I can't even remember when that was. Was that last year?
Yeah, maybe even before that.
I feel like it was like the end of last year, was it? And now like it does feel like oh that was it's gonna be like 2 years between that and the launch, which I know like isn't that's not unheard of in video games, is it? But I don't know,
The
maybe
Yeah, it's
it's
Rockstar. They
it's
feel like if they put a trailer out, the game's gonna come out soon.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it makes you feel like the game's gonna lose momentum, but it's not gonna lose momentum because it's GTA. It's gonna sell a gazillion copies in 2 hours. So whenever it comes out. So yeah, it's bit poo, bit poo, but hopefully it does actually come out on November 19th next year. Because yeah, it'd be nice to actually get to play this. It must really suck for like PC gamers as well, because isn't it like a year later for them again as well? So
Ah, it could be even longer than that. Because like, wasn't it in one of the Red Dead's take like 20 years to get to PC?
yeah,
Yeah.
so that could be like could be a long way away for them.
Yeah, yeah. Dave, your thoughts on the delay?
Oh, it's a bit suspicious. A couple of days after a load of union busting, isn't
Yeah, okay. As you brought it
it?
up, I'll put it as a separate news item. So two, so we jump back and say Rockstar have approximately dismissed 30 to 40 staff members in their Scottish and Canadian offices due to gross misconduct by using a Discord thing. But all these people were members of the union, and they were very close to hitting the union threshold. Rockstar, and now they're not close to hitting the union threshold. And obviously, 30, 40 people is a lot of people to get rid of. David, just a coincidence? You lose 40 people and then you got to delay your game by 9 months or whatever it is.
I don't think that getting rid of people would have caused a delay. I think I think they were always going to delay it, but I think the news was timed to take a little bit of heat away from the obvious union busting they were claiming weren't union busting. But yeah, I don't think that would have, because I mean there's hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people working on this game. So in terms of percentages, it's in high. But yeah, I did gig with the coincidence. As for the game, I'll just wait for it. My whole thing is there's plenty of games to play. When it comes out, it'll come out. I'd rather it come out. I don't care if it comes out in 2028 as long as it's good. I probably won't take it for fantasy next year though, boys. I'll be honest. It does feel at this point, even a small delay into 2027 could ruin someone's whole yearly plan. So I'm probably going to avoid it. Should I get the option? Um, but yeah, as you put in your little notes here, how does it affect other things? Pengi, what do you think?
Right, so there's a few things. Obviously, in May, I guess everyone was going to avoid May like the plague, and now May is a total free thing. And then I think we got some news around it or something. So the Wolverine, Insomniac put out a tweet. It's still coming fall 2026 Wolverine. So fall was technically September, October, November. So and obviously Ghost of Yotai came out sort of October, so I could see Wolverine being in that slot. It would have a good like month and a bit of its own like space. So I don't think it would affect that much. And as we're talking to Insomniac, Marvel put out a statement saying they are pleased to work with Insomniac for many, many more years to come. So does that give more credence to the leaks that we're getting Venom, Spider-Man 3, and X-Men from Insomniac as well? A couple of bits
Yes.
there for you, Jay.
Well, we're definitely going to get the Insomniac are going to be stuck working on Marvel games now for the next 10 years, I suspect. Which is fine because they do really good work. But obviously, I know Ted Price is either leaving or has left. I believe they have two teams currently. A
Yeah,
bigger
I'm
team.
guessing one team. I would reckon one team. The main team's working on X-Men, the other one's working, not X-Men, Wolverine, and the other one's working on Venom, I
Yeah,
would guess.
yeah. I think the juniors are probably working on Venom, and then that will spin into Spider-Man 3 when Wolverine's done, and then that will spin in into an X-Men game after that. But hopefully they're allowed to make something else if they want to make something else. If they want to do another Ratchet and Clank project or a Resistance remaster trilogy, then if they want to, they can. That would be the hope. Um, and yeah, I think Wolverine for October sounds about right. And as long as the game's ready to go, Pengi, I think it'll probably happen.
Yeah, Craig, your thoughts on like I guess the Wolverine and what could be placed like May and stuff now with no GTA.
Yeah, but it's tough, isn't it? 'Cause you think it's easy for like I say it's easier for like publishers and that to move stuff back than it is forward.
Forward, yeah.
If you know, if you could move it forward, you probably already would have done that essentially. Even if you've not announced it, let's say, even if this is like a date that you're just aiming towards at your studio, there's probably a reason why you haven't moved it forward because you can't get the game ready in that amount of time.
Hmm.
So, does this just mean that stuff that was gonna be November 2026 is now February 2027? That's probably what could
Hmm.
see more of, in all honesty. You know, if you had kind of that end of year bit going around your head as a publisher for your next game, are you now going, right, well, let's just give the team more time, let's just whack it out in February 2027? I could see that being I could see February 2027 being an absolute bloody shit show again, which you've had before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you end up with like 10 big games coming out in February. I'm just trying to avoid um, GTA.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
specifically Wolverine is not going to. Sorry, Pengi. It's not going to. It's more interesting because of the Marvel license and its first party. It's one of those that contracts are probably in place for stuff like bundles and special consoles and stuff like that. So I would be interested to see if they'd be willing to delay that, if that makes sense. No, I agree with Penke. I think it will come out in October. I think it will be
that's
the
why,
main
and
PS5
obviously they
bundle, and
put,
then yeah,
and obviously, like I said, they put out the tweet literally like the day after or something GTA 6 delay,
yeah,
and like Sony hasn't really put anything out in November for a while. It's normally like start of the year in like September, October now, sort of thing. Um, I guess because you get your CODs, your FIFAs and stuff sell in November, don't you? And
well,
they get
PS5
their
always has lots of
30% of,
bundles, don't they? That's the difference with
yeah.
Xbox. So like traditionally, since the Xbox One, you don't tend to get like the Call of Duty Black Ops bundle, for example, but you almost year on year will get a PlayStation 5 FIFA bundle, PlayStation
Mm,
5 Call of Duty bundle, PlayStation obviously we've got the Ghost of Tsushima console, but they always tend to have a bundle game with their sort of main package. Because I believe
mm,
currently it's Astrobot, right? That's their main bundle they do.
yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously they'll do the third party ones. Whereas with Xbox they don't. So it's always a bit like if Wolverine is going to be their main first party bundle that they bundle the console with, and then obviously GTA will absolutely get a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro bundle, won't it? Like there's no way
Yeah.
that there isn't a bundle that you buy, even if it's just a code in a box with a sleeve on it. Like their PlayStation will be willing to chuck some money towards that because it's just going to sell so well. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, Pengu, sorry to cut you off.
One game from PlayStation I can see moving into Bay is Marvel Token
Hmm.
because it's then it would be even more because I think Evo's June or July, and I would think it comes out before Evo.
Yeah,
So I was always thinking it's going to come out like June, but if now May is free, and there has been beta tests and stuff of that game already. So yeah, so I could see that maybe now being a main, give it like people more time to play it as well before Evo, that sort of thing. And then the other point is Xbox obviously from their shows and like Halo and like Phil talking at the last Xbox like summer showcase, like it's the big Xbox 25th anniversary next year. That anniversary is November 15th. 4 days before GTA 6. So, how do you think it affects Xbox? Because obviously, if they're planning, like, we're going to put Halo out for the 25th anniversary, that's literally 4 days before GTA 6. That doesn't sound good, doesn't seem good to me.
No, but then I think they spoke about how they wanted to have like all these games out next year, didn't they? So I would
Hmm.
have thought they're going to be spacing them out anyway. You'd imagine, wouldn't you? Unless they end up with another
Yeah.
clusterfuck like they have this year. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be like they're going to be like, all right, the October, or no, this November 15th or whatever, we're going to release 4 games and then
Yeah,
GTA is going to come out.
I don't know, it just seems odd if like we're playing the Halo combat campaign involved in like August or something, and it's supposed to be for the 25th anniversary. Like, oh, that should be November. He's like, oh yeah, GTA 6 is that then.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect. If Halo is the game that's slated for that slot, I don't think it affects it at all.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I
It's
feel like if there's a game
yeah.
that you like, we'll throw like out 4 days before GTA, it'd probably just be the Halo
Yeah,
remake thing, right?
especially because there's no multiplayer. It's a remake of a 6-hour game. If we're being completely honest,
Yeah.
and GTA. I mean, I'd be surprised if GTA has co-op, so it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like other than the fact that it's a big video game, I don't think there's a lot of crossover in terms of like in terms of losing sales, like people not. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I just don't think it will affect it in any way, especially not if Xbox are going to turn around. Obviously, it's going to be on get one of the versions of Game Pass, right? So, I feel
Yeah.
that for what Xbox is nowadays, I don't think it'll get moved if that's what they're going to do. They won't put Forza Horizon out 4 days before GTA,
No.
but Halo, yeah, like Craig said, it's not a big release. It's a remake, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So so we've talked about the that's GTA. We've talked about the Union and stuff. So GTA wasn't the only game to get delayed. Marvel's 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed again to now beyond early 2026. Craigie.
It's cute that they're still like, oh yeah, we're good delaying this game. It's never coming out, is it? Why are we still carrying on with this whole facade?
It
It's
is
just
Amy Henning, that's the director. I don't think
exactly.
she's
It's never gonna come out. It's never gonna exist.
What's the
You
last game
just
that she released, Pengi?
most probably on like Uncharted 2,
There we go. What year was that? 2009?
something like that.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah. I don't think they really needed to officially delay this. I think everyone with a brain is just assuming it's never gonna happen. So
She was the story concept for Spoken in 2023,
Of course,
but
quite.
the last time creative director was Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception in 2011, but she has worked on story for Golden Abyss, writer for Hardline, Battlefield Hardline, for Spoken story concept, and then producer and well, she's only actually producer and writer of Marvel 1943, but yeah.
There we go.
Mm,
We'll see.
yeah, so. Yeah, I don't think it's one you talked about fantasy critic. Like, yeah, I don't think I'll be picking this up, even if they are now saying beyond early 2026. And you go,
if you
oh,
want it,
that's gonna
Pengi,
come.
it's a good counter pick for one of me or Dave. So
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna come December 2026 at the West or something. I was like, nah, I don't think that's gonna be for me. No. Then next news item, we got another delay. Darwin's Paradox has been delayed to 2026, and it's also now
come
coming to Switch.
on,
It's now also coming to Switch 2 instead of Switch 1.
up the boys.
That boys.
That's what we
Dave,
need, isn't it?
how does this make you feel?
Let's take the fantasy sadness away. I'm glad it's coming to Switch 2, and this is a game that Konami showed in one of the shows, and I was like, I'm quite interested in this. I think it looks quite interesting. Like I think it does look like a different, smaller game for a publisher like Konami. So I'm happy that it's going to get delayed and it'll be the better game. Obviously, not happy that it gives even more tension to the Craig versus Dave fantasy critic shenanigans.
Oh,
It's
it's gonna be
really going to
squeaky
go
bum.
right to
It
the
is.
last here. And it's interesting for the show, right? For the fans. But no Pengi. I think Pengi's long gone.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, Pengi, you're third, unfortunately, buddy. You get first pick again.
Oh,
There is
yeah.
also you've not put it in, I can't see, but that Terminator game got delayed as well until after Metroid Prime 4, because Metroid Prime 4 was the last game, with a date. So it was like, oh, it's all going to come down to that. Whereas now, it's going to come down to Terminator, I think. It's going to be interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's been delayed to 12th of December now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you'd think I'd be in the lead by then, and it will come down to what Terminator gets, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, you can also have hope that Mina and Mixtape are going to come out as well.
Yeah, right. Um, yeah. I think if either of them come, then I think it would be comfortable. But yeah, but it's a shame because like Dave said, when they did show that bit of gameplay for this, it did look quite cool. So it's a shame, but again, there's already 600 million games to play this year, right? So losing one, I don't
I
think is too bad,
I think
honestly.
I don't know whether you've forgotten, Craigie, but I also do have Marvel Cosmic Invasion
Yeah.
because
Mm, I
I've
know.
got those two games, and I've currently got a 13-point lead, and you've got
Yeah.
Metroid Prime. Is Metroid Prime going to be a
Yeah, but you got to remember Dispatch's score hasn't gone on there, and that's
Oh,
going to do a
okay.
lot.
There we go. You're right.
That's probably on like 87 at the
Because
moment, I
there
think.
wasn't a gap. I was confused. Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I rescind. Yeah, this is going to be like
Really
it's
close.
going to literally be what Metroid comes out, and then looking at the math for Terminator for what's
Yeah.
needed. Like it could be a draw. Like a draw is actually very feasible.
But it
Mm,
does do the weird. Somehow they have access to OpenCritic's like decimal point system, so
Oh,
it
do
can come
they?
down to
yeah.
decimal points. Yeah.
Yeah, there will be a winner. The thing will
Yeah.
figure it out. Who
Can Kirby
wins?
Air Riders get 99 and get Pengels back within a shout?
It could do. It could do. So next news item, the PlayStation Portal we talked to about last week. There was some rumors and leaks, um, some stuff appeared for Outer Worlds 2. And it's like you're gonna be able to stream this game from your game library. It's like that's not a thing. It is a thing. The Portal got an update this week. It's got a slightly new UI and things like that, and you can now stream over 2,800 PS5 games from your library, Davey.
Yeah, it's cool. We talked about this off camera. It's really cool. They keep adding value to the portal. Obviously, I don't have one anymore. I know you guys have them of varying uses. I'm sure you'll both talk about it when we get to you. But yeah, I think it's cool that they're adding value. It's one of those things like when that thing came out, we thought it was okay for what it did, but the fact they've added so much quality to it, and it's not just the fact that you can stream it. They've added like a really good overlay to see what your connection status is like, and lots of little bits and bobs that
And
it's
you
a
can also now in this, they've changed how the plus button works, but you can press the PlayStation button and like you can now like switch it automatically from 1080p to
yeah
720p if you're getting like poor connection and stuff like that without having to go into like all the settings and you can look at yeah if you really want like up and down and yeah, minutes per second all that good stuff if you really want to get in the weeds.
yeah for sure, and it just gives you more options, doesn't it? If your net's not quite as good, but yeah, and you also don't need to have a PS5 now if you don't want to. If you just want to, if you want to get in cheap, you've got a good internet connection and no room for a big TV, which in we've talked about it before on here. I see these all the time in Dubai, like all the time. Like I've seen every single tech shop has 4 or 5 different colors of this thing. So it's one of those that like if I were the type of person that was living in a place like that, couldn't afford to have or didn't want to have a big TV and a big PS5 knocking around, or Japan, which has got a very um, small housing but good internet, it's not a bad option. I think for 199 in today's market, it's legitimately a good option. I still think obviously it's best suited as a side piece, but I think there is now use cases where you could go in and start with this, and then get a PS5 down the road or get a PC or something. So again, I just think it's called the adding value. You know what I mean? Like I'm the first person to call Sony out for stuff, but this is a good consumer move, I think. What about you guys?
Yeah, so I looked, obviously I did the update, went on the games library, so I have access to about 250 games on the games library, but I think the 2,800 is 2,800 I say proper games. Out of my 250 is like, Street Fighter 6 is on there. I was like, I don't own Street Fighter 6, so don't own it, my PS5 turned off and stuff like that. Click on Street Fighter 6, loads right away, and it's like, ah, it's actually the demo of Street Fighter
Yeah.
6. Yeah, it's like, okay, it doesn't say it's the demo, but like some of these things of the 250 I have in my library could be things like that demo, and obviously it has crossover with Plus. The very first thing that showed up on my library was Stray, because I redeemed Stray through PlayStation Plus. So it's in my games library, so it's the first thing that showed. But if I went on to the Plus streaming, which has got like 350 games on it, so Stray is also there, so there's crossover from that. I expect I still got about 200 actual games that's on the library, and then you add the 350 on Plus. So there's like 550 games I could play without technically needing a PS5. I played Virtual Fighter 5. I did like a quick video of that. So obviously not connected to the PS5 whatsoever. So I'm streaming Virtual Fighter 5 because I just I got that. Um, Played online as well, so you got like two things of the connection, and I was recording, and it worked perfectly fine, like no problem whatsoever. So I was like really impressed in that. And the game next week, which the best place to play it would most probably be PSVR 2, but the second best place to play it most probably is going to be on the Portal due to the type of game it is. So I am mostly going to play that on Portal, and I was like, I don't even need to have like my PS5 on. I can just stream it through the games library, and it should be hunky dory and stuff like that. So yeah, I can definitely see like some use cases or like Christmas. Like, do I take my Portal with me to Christmas to my uncle's? Like, just connect to their Wi-Fi. I don't need my PS5 home at home on turned on and things like that. I can just play games. But I could also take my Switch too. I could also take my ROG, or I could take my Playdate. There's a lot of handheld options, but it's like yeah, it's an option now. I could do like I could show my cousins. Like, oh, have you seen the PlayStation Portal? And he'd be like, oh, I've not seen one of them. Yeah, and it's like this is the games I've some games they can play, sort of thing. But yeah. Pretty impressed of what they do and where Sony might be doing this in the future with handhelds or whatever.
Craigo.
I haven't done the update in all honesty, so I should probably do that. But yeah, no, it sounds cool. I imagine I would use it just like as I was before. I would imagine. Anyway, but yeah, it's cool that they're adding more stuff to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And then talking to PlayStation adding stuff. So this is from a leak. A couple of things. So the leak has shown a little eco symbol next to some games that for eco mode, like Demon Souls. You can now play that in the eco mode, and your PlayStation uses less wattage and things like that. But obviously, it sacrifices like I think it's resolution in that game, not frame rate and stuff like that. So, but make a sacrifice and things like that. Ray PC thing, like my ROG Ally, if you put more wattage on it, you can get more power. If you put less wattage, you can get, less power but uses less battery. So it's got a little symbol for that can appear some next to some games. Obviously, this is all leaked, but that makes sense. And also, a cross-buy logo has appeared by some games and stuff in this leak, and next to ones that quite often say PS5/PC. So, games already have the PS5 and PC logo. So, The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster, for instance, has PS5/PC because you can go buy it on Steam and then sign into your PlayStation Network account and obviously earn trophies, and that has the both logos. So that is not new, but this cross-buy logo is, like I said, this is Eco one. So are we getting a PlayStation PC launcher and you both buy Last of Us Part 2 on your PS5? You can also play it on your PC launcher or vice versa. There's one theory, or the other one, it could also be for handheld because obviously back in the day, Sony was actually one of the first people to do crossplay with like the PS3 and like the Vita, and obviously all this handheld stuff. Is like, oh, you buy Last of Us Part 2, it's cross-buy, it works on your Portal 2 or whatever. Davey, thoughts?
So I hope to God it isn't cross-buy for the handheld. The handheld
Yeah,
just
I've seen some thinking it could be that.
I hope not, because if they've got a handheld that's got its own separate library, that thing is dead on arrival.
Hmm.
It needs to be able to play your majority of your PlayStation library, right? So that's
Yeah.
that. I think
I've seen the things like they might put it so people are like, I know this game works, if that makes sense. A bit like the play, and it's like I know Last of Us Part Two remaster is going to work on my handheld because it's got this, but Joe's Diner, or whatever it wants, the one that's not backwards compatible on PS5, like wouldn't have this symbol, but it would mean like every game pretty much on PS5 would have this symbol. Though that is the one thing I've seen. The PC launcher seems more likely, but is a take I've seen about the handheld.
yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if the cross-play thing again they've not said, have they? So we don't know. The PC launcher to me makes more sense because they get all the money if they put it on their own PC launcher as opposed to well, not as Steam, and they can give it exclusivity for like before it goes on Steam. They have got a PC launcher already, and people forget. I've seen a lot of people reporting this that people don't seem to acknowledge. They have one for PC streaming and remote play. You can buy stuff on that app as well. I believe that if you can stream it, but it's basically the portal, but on PC. The only problem is that you have to have a DualShock or a DualSense to use any of the games because that has PS4 streaming on it and
Hmm.
PS3, which actually I don't think you can do with the new service on the portal yet. So it's all a bit of a
No, it's
cluster,
only
really.
yeah, yeah,
Um, for me personally, if they're going to do cross-buy, it would make sense to me for it to be a Sony PlayStation launcher that you buy games, but that only works if you then put games day and date, because otherwise people will just wait and buy it on Steam. So if it's because okay, we're going to have the PlayStation launcher, you can buy Spider-Man 3 the same day it comes to PS5, and then if you want to buy it on Steam or Epic, it comes 7-9 months later. Then I think that works. If it's the same, then it doesn't make sense. There's no way on God's green earth you buy it on PS5, you get it on Steam. I've seen some people say that that's never going to happen because Steam have to take their cut. If they did a deal with someone like Epic, that could be more likely, but I equally don't see that happening. So yeah, it's either there in case they decide to use it, but if in my mind, if it's for some sort of cross-buy like platform idea, it is going to be a PlayStation launcher on PC. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me. But what about
yeah.
you, Craig?
God, I am not the person to talk about PC launchers and that sort of thing. Um, yeah, I don't know. If it's tough because PC gamers are so embedded with Steam, aren't they? So
Yeah,
I just
I've said
think
this, and
I
yeah, I
just
always
think
bring
that
up
people,
Alan Wake too.
yeah, they're gonna cry it's not on Steam. They're gonna kick off. They're gonna purposely not buy it if it's not on Steam and wait and get it on Steam. I feel.
Mm.
It would be the test though,
PC
because like
gamers are that sort of breed, aren't they? They'll be on the so oh we need to rally together and all this and
yeah, but
they will.
I would agree with you, but Sony and Nintendo are the two things that the games media and all that also suck off. So it's like with Xbox, they're never going to it's easy to hate
I feel like
Microsoft.
Steam players are their own thing though. I don't think they're
Ah,
influenced by Greg Miller or
well,
IGN.
Greg
I
Miller
think they're
likes
their
Steam and
own.
Xbox. That's the scary thing. The Tim
Yeah, but
Gettys is the
I don't
example.
think they're looking at people like that. I think they're their own. They're on
Yeah,
Reddit. They're their own community. They're an order unto themselves. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I get you.
I don't
I
think games media is affecting them anyway at all.
yeah, I think
Because
the
Epic is
exclusivity is the only way.
yeah, because like I was gonna say, Epic is tried, and Epic's pretty, tied to PC, the
Uh,
Unreal Engine and stuff like that, and they have made a carve their thing, but it's like yeah, they've tried getting exclusive things, hence Alan Wake 2 and things, and it's not really worked. So yeah,
yeah,
I think it's I think it's maybe better for like me and you, sort of Dave. It's like
yeah,
I was like okay, I'm buying fair games. And I got it on PS5 and I got it on PC, and I don't have to go get it on Steam, and I can play it on my ROG Ally and stuff like that. Maybe PlayStation copy a little bit of Xbox like that. It's like you can play fair games on the ROG Ally sort of thing. It's a live service game as well. They want people to play as many places as they want, sort of thing. I can definitely see it making sense for us, but I do think the whole Steam community and PC on that, we're like, yep. We're playing it on Steam and nothing else, and we will wait to buy it on there. Just look at Xbox, for instance. Like Xbox PC Game Pass, it's 14 quid, an amazing deal. It's just one launcher, you download it, it's easy. People will still buy it sooner buy the games on Steam, and
I
that's
think it's
like
having the
a really
option
good
though,
deal.
because that's the
Yeah,
thing. The Xbox example is the closest I can think of because people don't kick off at Starfield being on Windows Store and also being on Steam the same day. They don't. If they, like you said, if they want to buy it on Steam, they'll buy it on Steam. But if they're a cross player, which is what the transitioning player, it's not a problem if you can get it on Game Pass or you can whatever. No one's buying it on the Windows Store, I don't think, but
no.
because it's on Game Pass, either Game Pass or Steam, I don't think PC players mind. I think if Sony copied that and was like, right, if you buy it on PS5, you get it on our launcher same day, but if you want to buy it on Steam, you can buy it on Steam, and there's no exclusivity timing, then I think that will work, and I don't think that PC players will kick off, because at the end of the day, like Craig said, if they want to play on Steam, if they've got the option to buy Spider-Man 3 the same day, no one will say a word. Whereas if you've got a PS5 and a PC, it's just an added benefit, which is what Xbox is now, right? Like if you've got an Xbox Series X and a PC, which I know is a small amount of people, but it's probably most of the Xbox community now. Let's be honest. Then they're happy that they're getting Starfield on both.
Yeah.
And if they want to buy it on Steam, they can. No one bats an eyeyelid.
Mm.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
Like it's
it'd
not
just be
exclusive.
it'd be the exclusive thing. If, like you said, if
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3 is 12 months just on the PlayStation launcher, which, like you said, PC people will kick off. Yeah, it's easy to go and
yeah,
download and do that. That's it is. Yeah, I've always found PC gamers weird that thing. It's like it's like it's literally 2 clicks to install a different launcher and play on a different launcher, sort of thing.
yeah.
But I couldn't haven't see them kicking off with that.
But we'll
So,
see. We'll see what they
yeah,
decide. They might not do anything at all, which is also
yeah,
fairly likely, right?
yeah. That's not fair. Well, talking about PlayStation not doing it a lot, PSVR 2, is it dead? No, it's not. We had a little showcase. We had PSVR 2 Day, which I presume was going to be on the launch of the PS uh, when it launched last time. And Flat 2 VR did a little showcase with Upload VR, and they showed quite a few games. They showed V Racer Hoverbike, which is out today or out whenever the showcase. Also, Audio Trip, which is out November 11th. RoboQuest VR, November 20th. Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrock, November 25th. Rager Q1 26th, and Out of Sight VR just 2026. A few games coming out in November for the PSVR 2. Somewhere remembered it was alive, Craig.
God, I'm watching V Racer Hoverbike now, and this looks like vomit-inducing in VR, and I feel like this is going to be.
Yeah, this is supposed to be quite good.
I feel like that is just you barfing all over your face there. That looks like something. Yeah, it's still alive, Pengi. It's still going. Are
Yeah,
you
it just
jumping
seems
back in?
weird. It's just no, it's just weird that like this VR company publisher is deciding to put out one, two, four games out in the same month. It's how is the one person that buys VR PSVR 2 games meant to buy 4 games in 1 month for the system, Craig?
Isn't it all digital as well, so you can't even buy it and
Yeah,
sell them all?
yeah, it's all digital pretty much. There's not that many physical PSVR 2 games, unfortunately.
God, I'm watching Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrock now, and I'm just like, God, the VR community is weird. I said PC community is weird. These people might be even weirder.
Mm.
These
Do
people
you
might
know,
be even weirder.
Craig, I've got a Playdate version of this Shadowgate game
God,
that I can play. Yeah.
what I'm watching now doesn't look good. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look good at all.
No, you can go look at the Playdate version if you want instead.
I imagine that's gonna look even worse.
What if you're black and white for that? So,
Yeah.
Craig, you're not infused that. What about you, Dave? What about your thoughts on some games for your PSVR 2?
I thought we did a eulogy for the PSVR 2 some years ago, Pengi. So
Yeah,
I'm surprised
yeah.
that it's still alive. Yeah, it's cool if you've got it, but no one's got it, have they? So it's yeah, it's news. It's not too much news, but news nonetheless.
Yes, it is news. It is news. Next item of news. So I don't know what the company got. Was they did a study. They did studies, and spending on remakes double that of remasters, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's yeah, they did a study like on remakes and remasters, and as they found out more people buy more remakes than they do remasters, and spend more money on remakes than on remasters. I got a few thoughts on this. Well, one, you take Metal Gear Solid that you've been playing, so you got the remaster like collection. I didn't buy because it was just remasters, but I did buy the remake, and that remake is supposed to be like $70 RRP, so more expensive and obviously and Silent Hill 2 even like remember they did the HD collection back in the day on the PS3. Never bought that, but I did buy the remake, and again that remake was like 70. The remaster or whatever sort of thing. You even look at Gears of War, the remaster's 35 quid, but I'm expecting the Halo remake to be like 50, 60 quid for instance. So I get it, and I can get like why I buy remakes over remasters because it's new, shiny, sort of thing.
I guess the counterpoint to this, though, is that, yeah, I would assume that would be true without needing a study, but I'm also going to assume that the budgets for remakes are more than double that of remasters.
Yeah, most
So,
probably
yeah,
because
you're making more money, but you're also spending more money to
yeah, I
make the
don't think
game.
that. Yeah, yeah, I don't think
Do you
that
know
when
what I
I
mean?
saw that, looked at it, they didn't mention that. They mentioned like Final Fantasy was like one of the best-selling remakes, Rebirth. I think they
Well, yeah, but
mentioned
then, Final
they
7, Final Fantasy 7 remake,
Rebirth.
whatever the hell it's called,
Rebirth is
is going to have
basically a
a
new
hell of a
game.
lot more budget than Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a bit of a weird one, but it's like people buy remakes, not like remasters. It's like yeah, I can kind of see why. Um, it makes sense to me, like you said, but it would mean they are spending more money as well on, you said, to make those remakes and sort of thing.
I hope this
Dave?
guy didn't spend too much of his time on this.
Oh, I don't know, some company, but most probably they literally spent hours on it, Dave, Craig,
Yeah.
analyzing this to then go tell some, I don't know, shareholder or something to invest in remakes instead of remasters or something like that, most probably. Dave, any thoughts?
well, yeah. I've got a lot of thoughts, but it doesn't seem like a particularly. There's a lot of questions I would ask of this. I'd be like, okay, well, what do we mean by spending? Do we mean profit? Do we mean because obviously, like we were saying, remakes obviously cost a hell of a lot more to remake than a remaster.
Yeah.
Remakes
They were
ten.
on about consumers buy more rebates, spend more money on remakes, but that's
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
like I said, that's a
like
number. That's not like per.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because like let's use your example of Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid Delta. I would imagine the budget for those remasters were 10% of the budget of the remake. They also came out 10, £15 cheaper, right?
hmm
Remasters
yeah,
tend to be cheaper than remakes, so there's a lot of ways you could swing it either way. If I'm
yeah,
honest, it's a very strange, like Craig says, a very strange
yeah. The only
thing
one
to
I
do.
can
But
see like the metric, and obviously without asking people, everyone is like, if they came to me and go, right, here's Metal Gear Solid 3 remaster, here's Metal Gear Solid remake. Well, I'm like, well, I'm buying the remake because it's new and shiny. The remaster is just a remaster. And I'm like, right, okay, that's one person ticks for the remake, sort of thing.
yeah, it's all very contextual, isn't it? Because I suppose by that same logic, if Metal Gear Solid is a terrible example, but if I came to Craig and was like, hey, there's this brand new game of the third game in the series, but here's this collection of three, and the collection of three are 15 quid cheaper. You've got any interest in it at all? You might go, oh, I'll go for the remaster. But equally, like I said, it doesn't. Like I said, it's a very strange, very strange thing to ask. Really, it's quite
Yeah,
confusing.
yeah,
But there we
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. Next news item. So Nintendo released a new app out of anywhere called Store, Nintendo Store app. You can buy stuff from the eShop, and after that, you can actually buy stuff from my Nintendo. So you can buy the GameCube controller, like the NSO GameCube controller and stuff like that. But what everyone cares about is it now shows you game played time, and you can have a look and see your most played games by like the minute and how many sessions you had and all that. Dave, how many hours have you played at Mario Kart?
I've played 85 hours of Mario Kart. Yeah, this is a really cool app because they've finally been joined us in the modern world. You can wish list and you can purchase things. I've actually just gone on because you've just reminded me, and the bloody NES controller that's never in stock is actually in stock for £26. The Super Nintendo controller, sorry. So I'm very tempted, very tempted. But yeah, I think it's cool that you can see your playtime. It's cool that it has 3DS and Wii U stuff on there. It's cool that you can sort it. That it's like hidden in a menu as well. It's weird that there's news on it because obviously there's a whole fucking Nintendo News app. So maybe they just need a Nintendo app, really at this point. But
I have 3 apps for Nintendo.
I
Yeah,
think-
I was like, I just one would be fine.
yeah, one would be great. But yeah, I'll take that aside. I think it's actually a very good app. It's cool. It's interesting. It's cool that you can buy stuff, pre-install stuff, all the modern stuff because Switch 2 feels like a bit more of a modern console anyway. But it's cool that you can actually do modern stuff.
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
any thoughts in your little head?
No, I haven't even downloaded it in all honesty. So
We
Boo,
don't
sir.
know what
Boo.
We don't know what your most played
Well,
Nintendo game is.
yeah, but I can see that on my Switch, can't I?
You can't because
Yeah,
it only
that's-
does your most recent 10 games.
Oh, does it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whereas
that's
this-
stupid.
whereas
Why does
this
it do that?
Because they want to hide the data because they clearly are taking Creo. But this even tells you every single day you've gone on it and how long you played it every single time,
Yeah,
which is
I looked
hilarious.
I
Why
looked
doesn't it just tell me this on the console? Why do I need an app for this?
Wow, Craigo, clearly.
I didn't realise it only showed you 10 games.
Yeah,
That's
it shows your
stupid.
most recent 10 games.
That's
Yeah.
really dumb.
But it keeps
And
the
it only
data, so if you load up that
and it
11th
only-
game, it will come back.
and it only roads for 5 hours on the you play for 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 and stuff like
Yeah,
this.
I'm not
It goes
saying
No,
up-
they changed that,
That's
Pengi.
okay.
It does 5 to 10 as individual hours now.
Okay.
So like if you played 7 hours of Pokemon, it will say 7 hours. But it does.
Okay.
It's not consistent. It doesn't do that after 10, I don't think.
No. But on the app now, it go for me, it was one of the Fire Emblems. It was like you play for 40 plus hours, so it's under the 50. Then I could see all my sessions, and I had an 11-hour session on Fire Emblem. Played it for 11 hours one day.
What a time to be
That's not a
alive!
healthy way to live. Thank you.
It's wild because you'd have had to been plugged in because the 3DS did not have 11 hours battery life.
No, it's like 3 houses or engaged.
Oh, okay. Well,
Which one?
the Switch.
Yeah.
So the Switch definitely didn't have. It's just funny because I'd have thought, like I said, I've been doing this streaming, and I stream for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'm so bored and tired of playing this video game. I mean, it doesn't help it's Metal Gear Solid, but you know what I mean. But like, 11 hours. You imagine Craig just sitting there on a game for 11 hours that isn't like Football Manager.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's I
like,
played this game.
Call of Duty when I was like 17 maybe, but
Yeah, it's I played this game for 40 hours. I've only played it like 4 times, and one of them's 11 hours. It's yeah. But that is now the stats you can get, Craig. Those sort of things. Isn't showing
Well,
all
just
my
put 'em on the
3DS
bloody
stuff, it's
console.
A little bit.
Nintendo, do that.
I think. Yeah, I need to do that. And talking about Nintendo and putting out consoles, the Switch 2 has now sold 10.36 million units, and the Switch 1 154.01 million. I don't think it's catching the PS2's 60 million. The Switch 1 now, I don't think it's going to sell another 6 million. It might, but I don't think it will pass it, sort of thing. But yeah, good numbers, Davey.
Yeah, I mean, I think they might sell 6 million. I'd
Are you
be.
going to sell another 6 million Switch ones?
They said how many did they sell in the last year? 4, wasn't it? 4 million.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'd be interested. It'd be close. It'd be close. Yeah, I mean,
It's going to pass the DS.
yeah,
It's only like 100.
it was 10,000, and this was in September, right? So it would have sold by now.
Yeah.
It would have sold by now. So that's because these numbers are as of September. So it
Yeah.
doesn't include October and November. So like the Switch is definitely sold 10,000 units, but it would have sold that in Japan, let alone the rest of the world. So it's their best-selling console. We'll see with the PS2. The Switch 2 numbers are bafflingly good because it's really you can still easily buy one. So they've obviously done a really good supply chain. 10.36 million in 4 months is good going. I mean that is the fastest selling console of all time. Pengi, I'm right in thinking
Yeah.
that. Like
Yes.
it's outpacing the PS4 and the PS5. Yeah, I think it's Nintendo, right? People will complain about it, but people do quite like playing Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and Pokemon and all that stuff. And I know it's bundled, but I think Mario Kart is at what like 9.36 million or something as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically 1-to-1, and obviously the Wii U sold in its 4.5 years 13 million, 14
Yeah,
million, something like that.
it's like 13.4. It's like the Switch 2's got to sell like 3 million more to pass the Switch 2.
Yeah, and for
It's
context,
especially passed it already,
yeah,
to be
and
honest.
for context, this has now outsold the Dreamcast already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you think about the Dreamcast, and it's like that's gone. It's not. It's now going to overtake the Wii U and the Vita pretty quickly. And then you start thinking, well, I think, well, I mean, I'd be surprised if in a year's time it's not outsold the original Xbox, the GameCube, the N64. Like, I think it's gonna they keep the cadence up of games. But yeah, I know we're gonna do a Switch 2 episode fairly soon. But yeah, like I'm pleasantly surprised, and I get it. I really like my Switch 2, so I can see why it's selling so well. But yeah, how about you,
Yeah,
Craig?
and like this is like first holiday season this year,
It
isn't it?
is.
So, yeah. See how it does. Craig, any thoughts on the Switch 2 and Switch 1 numbers?
No, I think like having Pokemon out now will only help it substantially. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Although apparently it is actually okay on the Switch one. The guys in work were saying. Because I think their assumption was that it would run at about 2 frames per second and be absolutely horrific, right? But apparently it's okay on the Switch one. So, but yeah, I still think it's Pokemon coming out will bolster those numbers massively.
Yeah, yeah.
It's obviously a bundle
And
as
it,
well. We do actually
yeah,
have
it's that.
Pokemon sell. Sorry, Pengi, I keep interrupting because of this stupid delay. We do actually have Pokemon Legends EA first week sales numbers, and that was 5.8 million, and half of those are on Switch 2, is what Nintendo were reporting. So, that's the first week. That was 2 weeks ago. So that's crazy. So that's already. It's probably done Donkey Kong's numbers already, right? On Switch 2.
Yeah, most probably.
And then the bundle is sold out, I believe, on Amazon currently. So I'd be really curious how does the ZA Switch 2 bundle did when we get these numbers in February, right? I think that's when they do the next set. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
yeah, but
Because it'd be the end of December numbers, but I'm not sure when we actually get those numbers.
yes, yeah, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, gotta love that sweet Nintendo goodness. Am I right, boys?
And that is all the news.
Brilliant, Pengy. Well, thank you very much for your, as usual, wonderful cadence with the news. God, this is a long podcast. So we're going to do into what we've copied from everyone else, which is 10 games that define us. So, Craigo, how would you define games that define us?
I don't know. I just saw the trendy kids on Twitter doing it, Dave. They were posting selfies with it, with their 10 games around them. And I saw everyone
Yeah,
started copying that.
yeah, seen that, but I saw someone did 11 today.
Well, you got to be
Just
unique,
They
haven't
had they had Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom like next to each other. There's like there's actually 11 games that are in there.
that's a Pengy move. I can't wait to get to the Pengyisms in this. Well, I was hoping for a bit more of a prepared statement from Craig there. So that's
I don't know where it all started because I feel kind of obviously I saw kind of funny do it. They did 2 episodes on it and stuff like that, and then I saw like a
They
couple
were
of days
late
later,
to the bandwagon, definitely. It was way
and they were
before
late
that.
as well because then I seen a few after theirs. And I was like, okay, as I'm sort of thing. I was like, I don't know where this started or who started the bandwagon, but I've seen quite a few since, or I just know what the picture and the games around them is now meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not your 10 favorite games, but you think the 10 best games are. I don't know. 10
Mm.
games that define you. That can mean whatever you want it to mean to you, Dave. Purposely, we normally, whenever we do this sort of things, you've got to give Chris Pengelly 600 rules because he's that sort of person. And I purposely was just like, let him do what he wants to do.
Let him run wild. We've all been sick recently,
Yeah.
right? Well, let's start with you, Craigo, because I think should we start with Craigo? Because Craig's going to be the most interesting. So let's start with Craig, because Craig's going to be the most interesting. If you've made it this far to the podcast, you deserve the pick me up of Craig telling us his 10 games. Would you like us to guess any games that would define you, Craig, or would you just want to go straight into
Go
it?
for it. Yeah, why not? Throw some stuff out there.
Duty, Modern Warfare, the first one, the first proper one, the 2007
Oh,
one.
okay. So that's an interesting point, Pengy, because that is like third or fourth, I think, on my like favorite best games of all time. But
Yeah.
for this, I've actually put Modern Warfare 2
Nice.
Okay.
because I feel like that was more of like the era where I played with so many different fucking people, so many friend groups on that game. Like that was peak college fucking gaming. I was getting phone calls from people I'd never even met, like ringing me like, I'm driving home from work in half an hour. I'm expecting you to be online and play COD. So I put Modern Warfare 2. So I feel like that defines me more than Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1. Even though I think Modern Warfare 1's the better video game, but yeah, there is a Call of Duty, and it is Modern Warfare 2, Pengy.
Okay.
Tiger Woods
Excellent.
Any other
PGA
guesses?
Tour.
Pardon?
Tiger Woods PGA Tour.
No, no. There's only
No?
one. There's only one sports game.
Oh, it'll be one of the FIFAs then, wouldn't it? I bet. But
Yeah, I've just
what
put
year?
generic FIFA, but it's
Oh,
anything
no.
from like '09 to 15. It could be any of
Oh,
them.
nice.
That was a big prediction there. And as you boys still know, I've still got the sauce when I want it as well. I can still turn it on and embarrass some people on FIFA
Yeah,
if I need
you never lose it, do you? Nice. Well, Craig, talk us through it then. Let's go through your list.
Yeah, so I skip Modern Warfare 2. FIFA, Gears of War is obviously there. I've played that game so many times. We've just done it again, Dave.
We have.
I had to be on there, and I played so much multiplayer. I feel like that was a game that had to play. Witcher 3, another one that just came to my mind straight away.
Mhm.
Probably my favourite single player game. I love Gwent as well, right? So that had to be there. And I was thinking, like, what's my favourite game this gen? That's the one that's like got me. And also, I wanted the racing game, and then like Forza Horizon now is just like that series is just taking over racing games for me now. That's what I think of when I think of racing games. If I want to play a racing game, I'm like, I want to play Forza Horizon because it's just the best. So Forza Horizon 5's on there. Guitar Hero 2 is on there, Davey. You'll be
Nice.
happy to hear. Because I fucking loved Guitar Hero 2 back in the day, and I wanted either a Guitar Hero or a Tony Hawk's, mainly for the music. Honestly,
Yeah.
'cause I just love that kind of music. I wanted a game that had something like that in there. I wanted a horror game because growing up, I was so into horror films, and I still kind of am, but I just don't have time to watch as many. So I've got Resident Evil 7, so I think that's my favorite like horror game ever. In there, obviously Mario Kart 64 is in there, boys.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I don't
Pengi,
think that
Pengi,
could
do you
have not
hate that
been in
game? Is it you that hates that game?
there. If he
Yeah.
does after he played me at it, Christ. Oh,
I don't hate Mario Kart 64.
Oh, I thought you said Mario 64. Okay, you carry on.
Mario Kart 64, yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a
yeah.
long week.
And I like Mario 64.
It's Galaxy you
Yeah.
hate, right?
I've never really played it, but I do have that collection now to
Hell
try
yeah.
it. I don't like the
Um,
controls on the Wii.
My Wii.
But yeah, I had to have that. I'm still a god. I played so much that with my brother on the 64. Overwatch is on there. Again, I played so much Overwatch. It could not be on there. It just could not be. I was so into Overwatch. I was playing bloody Overwatch. I was watching the esports. It was my life for a little bit. It became like the FIFA. It was the addiction. And then the last one, I was like, I wanted another single player game on there to like round it off because there's quite a lot of multiplayer stuff. And I was like, oh, it's torn between some stuff. I ended up going for Yakuza Like a Dragon because I'm so into Yakuza. And I play one of those games every year, don't I?
You do?
I've like, become the Yakuza guy on the podcast, so I was like, there's got to be a Yakuza on there. And even though I think I'd probably prefer Infinite Wealth, if that's probably my favourite one, Like a Dragon was the one that like really got me into it, like really kind of started the itch going fully. So that's the one I included on there. So yeah, it's quite a different in like a lot of different stuff on there, a lot of different like genres and that. Um, like I said, there's some stuff. It's all like stuff that I really like, but I've tried not to just make it my top 10 games ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine. It's good, it's funny because obviously I would say compared to what mine and Chris's list are about to be, your gaming is pretty much the last 20 years. as opposed to the last 30 years. Um, because obviously you're not quite as old and as haggard as me and Pengi. I thought there'd be a little bit more PS2, but equally, you were very young, right, when the PS2
Yeah,
was a
you
thing.
got to remember the PS2 was like it was a DVD player for me essentially and a Guitar Hero machine.
Because I hear a bit GTA from time to time, right? Probably.
Yeah, a bit of GTA, some Tony Hawk's maybe.
Nice.
And then the other one I really wanted to put like Dynasty Warriors 4 on there because that was one that like growing up, me and my friends we played so much Dynasty Warrior games. But it's hard when you've only got 10 and you're like, what would I take off for Dynasty Warriors 4 realistically?
Yeah, and especially when you've played hundreds of video games at this point, right? It's
Yeah.
oh, nice. Nice. Right, we'll do mine next. I know the viewers want Pengi. Pengi's the one that they've all tuned in for, so we'll get mine out of the way. So I've gone a quite a excuse me. I've had it. Mine was really difficult because, like I said, I've played so many games, and I consider. I mean, the list of games I associate with myself was like 40, that I whittled down to 10. Um, mine's almost like a story, the kind of way I've done it. So the first one is a really, really strange one, boys, and it's the game Anti-Flux because it's the best game that I've ever made, and the best selling game that I ever did when I was a game dev. So I feel like that defines me a little bit, as that is
I
basically
like that.
it's basically my the sort of pinnacle of when me and Pete were making video games. So Anti-Flux came out, did 40,000 downloads. Like it was a really fun arcadey game. It was kind of the peak, almost the peak of our little mobile powers in our own little way. And I really even now I love that game, and I loved making it. So it defines me because I was once a game dev. Pokemon Red, the first RPG I ever really played when it came out in '99, I think, over here, and has begun a lifelong obsession with Pokemon. I remember getting that
I felt like
game.
you had to have at least one Pokemon game in there for you, Davey. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, Pokemon Gold is my favorite, but like in terms of define me, like Pokemon Red, like I remember getting that game. I didn't even the concept that you could save was crazy to me. I remember reading a guide where you like, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to beat like what happens if I don't beat Gary, and then I have to keep playing it until I beat him, and then I've got to keep winning because like the concept that you could save the game was like so foreign to me that you know what I mean? Because I'd never played an RPG at that point. It's before I played Final Fantasy, before I played anything like that. So like, yeah, it was crazy. When I played it on my Super Nintendo, Super Nintendo had a cartridge you could plug Game Boy games into, Craigo, and play them on the TV, and they'd be like slightly coloured. Because obviously the Game Boy was green and black back then. But yeah, I loved Pokemon Red. Yeah, really defined my love of RPGs. Next on my list, I've got Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. Had to be a Sonic game. Um, this is my favourite again. Lots of memories of getting the Dreamcast and playing Sonic Adventure like all night, trying to like beat all of the different characters. I went back a couple of years ago and it's very nostalgic. It reminds me of the year 2000 a lot because obviously it was a Christmas '99 game for me. But yeah, my memories of the turn of the millennium are very much tied into Sonic Adventure and all of its janky Dreamcast goodness. Love that console, love that game. Again, I probably would say 2 might be the better game potentially, but yeah, Sonic Adventure 1 for me is iconic, and I think Sonic defines me quite heavily, and I think that's the game. Next, I've got Final Fantasy X. Again, a Final Fantasy game had to be on my list. I was really torn between 7, 9, and 10, but ultimately I wanted to have a little bit of PlayStation 2 representation on this, because the PlayStation 2, although not a console that I talk about a lot, really, in reality I did actually play quite a lot of games like Final Fantasy X, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and that kind of stuff. So, and Final Fantasy X for me was the peak of the Final Fantasy series. It never got better than Final Fantasy X. I've been chasing that dream since. It's a cruel fate to have seen the height of a franchise and now to see the drivelling shits that it has become with Final Fantasy 16. And yeah, I think Final Fantasy X, if someone was to ask me what Final Fantasy I would recommend in terms of turn-based, because obviously I know that's not what they are anymore, Final Fantasy X is the game that still holds up. I think the characters are still good, the story's still good, it has voice acting. The voice acting isn't as bad as people say. Though there's one scene that becomes a meme, but if you watch that scene in the context of the game, it makes perfect sense. But yeah, love that game. Terribly sad ending. Cried my little eyes out when we got to the ending, like when we like 11, 12, only just having hormones and look understanding what relationships are like it really hits you quite hard. And I think sometimes Final Fantasy X's gut wrenching ending is forgotten about for more popular Final Fantasy like things, like the things that happen in 7, the things that happen in 8. I think it gets a bit forgotten about Final Fantasy X, but yeah, definitely a series that defines me, and I think it's probably the best of the games for me. Next one, Craigo, Halo Combat Evolved, the first person shooter that really took me, puts its nails into me really, because at that point, I mean, like listen to the games that I talked about before. I hadn't really played a game that had like a 15 rating. And it was really between this and Gears for that on this list, but I think Halo represents me a little bit more. Yeah, I couldn't believe what this game was. I'd never played anything like it. Even playing single player, obviously playing co-op many times with friends, and many years later with Craig, and it's still been fun. And I'm excited for Campaign Evolve, but Halo Combat Evolve like blew my little mind. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even get. It wasn't even the game I bought my Xbox for. I bought it for a game called Kung Fu Chaos. And I
What
got
from Ninja Theory?
from Ninja Theory, and then it was 2 for 20, and I picked up this Halo game because everyone told me it was good, and it was just before Halo 2 came out. So, on my Crystal Xbox, I still got upstairs, but yeah, loved it. Again, changed my life. Then you move on to the sequels and to Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. So, but it began there with Halo Combat Evolved for me. Next one on the list, probably the hardest one to pick on this list, and this is probably the series that has defined me up until last year, I guess, and that would be Championship Manager 2001, 2002. It's difficult. Championship Manager 2001, 2002 specifically is the one game that I played for. I would hate to really know, but I would say I probably played that game for 2,000 hours, because I never played. I didn't play 0203 on PC. I had it on Xbox, whereas this was a PC game. My friend Ryan across the road used to come over, and after we had football training on a Saturday, and then a game usually on a Sunday, and we'd play for like 7 hours straight. We used to print out our end of season stats because it would had a little thing where it would print out in like CFAX, like your squad and all their stats at the end of the season. You could like export it to like a Excel file, I guess. And we used to do it every year. Like I've got folders somewhere of like our seasons when I was Scarborough, he was Farnborough. Only one team could come out of the conference, and I remember trying to teach my brother how to play. And we played that one save. Like I think we played for about 17, 18 seasons. So it would have been, I still would have been like 5 years ago now, right? But yeah, like I had so many memories with that game. I could name all the free transfers, the players that weren't real that had really good stats, the Wonder Kids, and yeah, it was a crazy game. And I absolutely adored it. And I give Football Manager, when Sports Interactive changed to Football Manager in 2005, it was probably a better game. But the amount of time and memories that I have with 0102 is just the next level. Similar to Craigo, Guitar Hero 3. I played two. I had on 360 with the Explorer controller, the wired one, which was really cool. But 3 was the one that I played just before I went to uni, and I remember when I went to Newport Uni, it was still early in the social media thing. Like Facebook was still only university accounts at the time, and Newport Uni had this thing called New Space, which was like their version of MySpace. And I remember it was basically like you'd go in there as a fresher and you'd kind of like forum chat to people that were going to be in your year before you went. It was like a kind of crazy way to like get to know people. But I remember chatting to a guy called Steve on there, and we exchanged gamer tags, and we ended up playing Guitar Hero 3 online and Call of Duty, and it was like the nervous anxiety of moving to a new city. And you got to understand as well that no one from my college and school went to Newport Uni. Usually a couple of you go together to like the same place, but I went completely by myself. Like I didn't know anyone, so like playing Guitar Hero online with Steve, and then obviously when I got to uni, Guitar Hero was at the peak of its powers. So it was like every common room, all the dorm rooms, like everyone had Guitar Hero 3. So like the fact that we could play it, and like I was in a band as well, so like being all like getting all the good music, and the soundtrack was fantastic, as I'm sure Craig will attest. But yeah, Guitar Hero 3 again. it's another one of those franchises that it didn't get better. It didn't get better than 3, sadly. It kind of was a bit of a downward spiral after that. Next on my list is Persona 4 Golden, Pengi. Um,
Oh yes.
it's a real, again, like with much of these games, that the way I've kind of done it, it's a time and a place thing. So Persona 4 Golden, I got a Vita. It would have been 2014, maybe 13. Um, and I got that game and I just didn't play it very much. Like I just remember getting it for a birthday. And then we moved to Taunton. And if you remember, boys, when I first started working at where we all met, I had a horrific 5 day a week, 2 till 10 contract. Um, from Mr. P, God rest him, that that was just brutal. And it was a 45-minute walk from Staple Grove where I lived, because a lot of the ways you get to Asda now from that place, those roads were not there, Craigo, when I lived by the post office. So I would come home from work and I would just be exhausted. My partner at the time worked part time at a local shop. So I was just picking up all these hours, like trying to just pay for everything, and I was so burnt out. And I remember I used to get home from work and I used to sit on my sofa, and I just didn't have the energy to put like a big TV on. I used to sit there and I just played Persona 4 Golden on my Vita, like 3 hours a night every night for like 6 months, and I just fell in love with the characters. Like I hadn't played a JRPG that had really got me since probably Lost Odyssey, in like 2009 maybe I played that. And like Persona 4 Golden's characters felt like my friends more than my actual friends. Like I'd just moved back, like my friends from uni weren't in Taunton. Like I'd only just met you guys, like I'd only just met people like John, and I only just met like the people that I was working with at the time, people like Gareth and Andy, and like even Andy Burt and people like that. Like I'd only just met all these people, so I was in my hometown, but I had no friends, right? So then you play a game like Persona 4 Golden that's like all about that, and you have like you build your relationships, and you know ultimately it's a fun JRPG, but like the other side of it really hit home. And yeah, I adored that game. I played 137 hours that save. Um, and again, I've always wanted to get back into the series with 5, with 3 Reload, with Metaphor, and it's just the characters in 4 just was so perfect, especially at the time. And I'm curious when the remake of that comes out next year, how I feel about it and how other people feel about it. Because like 4 Golden has a very, very special place in my heart. And obviously, the added thing with 4 Golden basically started this podcast. Because
Yeah, yeah, the Vita did like
yeah, because like I did a review for it as like a trial so GNamer used to have a website and they used to do reviews. I don't know if they still do. And Chris kind of got me in on that when me and him were just sort of talking about stuff. And then from that, we started a PlayStation podcast for that website that was Pod of War, obviously, as it was known then. And you know that comes from that game. Like if I had not played that game, I was a completely lapsed PlayStation fan. Like I hadn't had a PlayStation for 7 years probably at that point. Like I had a PS3, but I didn't have a PS4 until like a couple of years later. And yeah, that's and obviously how me and Chris became friends. Really, is from talking about the Vita. So yeah, it's always going to be a special place in my heart for that. Moving on to game number 8, New Super Mario Bros. U. Bit of a strange one. Again, the Wii U.
I can get it because of the Wii U.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Wii U was a really special console. It was my first console after uni. That I bought with my money, and like it was like we'd had, I can't remember, we'd had a long time between new consoles at that point. Even then, like it'd been 7 years since the 360, so like it was the first launch for a long time of a home console. I hadn't had a Nintendo console since the GameCube. I didn't play the Wii, and I was really excited for it. And I remember running down the road to get it when the DPT always didn't deliver it, and I put it away because me and what would have been my ex, but we'd only just started dating. She got a 3DS, and we put our presents away and we opened them together on Christmas Day, and it was just a really like cool moment to play. And the Wii U in general is a console that I just adored because it got me back into back into Nintendo, right? And then like I said, the dual attack of the Wii U and the Vita, build in friendships with people on GNamer, and then being able to like do stuff like this podcast and the writing that we did at the time, and like it was just one of those things. It was the start of that, and I really enjoyed playing the game, and it was a really good game as well. I think it's a bit underrated. Oh, sorry, boys. Number 9, it had to be on there, boys. It's Dirt 5.
I guessed earlier, and we
Yeah,
didn't guess yours. I said WRC because you used to play them, but Dark Fire did make much more sense thinking about it now.
Yeah,
yeah, I was thinking Dirt 5's got to be in there. Really, yeah.
yeah, Dirt is a funny series because Dirt One I love unconditionally. Dirt 2 and 3 I played a lot. 4 was kind of bad, but 5, like, 5's one of those crazy games because, again, like, I know all of mine have been quite heartfelt stories, which is kind of funny, but, like, Dirt 5 hit at a time where my life could not have been more chaotic. So we were in lockdown. Like, I was in a completely dead relationship that, like, I just was in no, I just no position to know what to do with it. And in this glimmer of darkness was this kind of okay rally game that I sat there and I platinumed 100% completed 3 times because it was just a release from the world. Because you got, like, we were deep in COVID times. Like, we were all working a lot. Like, most people hadn't traveled. Like, I was stuck in this 1 bedroom flat in a relationship that wasn't going anywhere, and it was just like, it was nice at 10 o'clock at night to sit and just do some stupid races on this game, to tie an elastic band around my controller to get the platinum 3 times. Played it on Stadia and I've played it on Luna. Like, it's hilarious how many times I've played Dirt 5. Um, and I love it. It's a great game. It's one of those. I wish they'd do a sequel. Um, it's just, yeah, it's just so funny to think how much time I've spent playing Dirt 5, really. But yeah, and to wrap up my 10, it's a new one. It might be the newest one that on any of our lists. It's Mario Kart World. Um, it's almost the flip of all of this. Like, it's been this start of, like, so obviously I've been dating Chloe for a while, but it's like the start of this, like, new console generation, and the first time I got to share a console generation with her. We've played it every night. We've played with Craig and Pengi most nights before she obviously went away, and then being able to connect by chatting about it and streaming videos for her to watch, and the fact that I've played almost 90 hours of this game in 4 months, when in a time where I feel like I'm not playing any video games, it's crazy. And it's just a really special game for me already. Like, I already know that I'm going to look back on the Switch 2 in 20 years' time, and the first thing I'm going to think of is Super Mario Kart World. So, and I know people have got problems with it, but in terms of it being just a fun game, I absolutely adore it. I really do, and it's one of those games that I'll play every. It's installed. I'm glad that it was just a code in the box because it means I've never got to faff around. It's always ready to go, and I do absolutely adore it. It's my favorite game this year. Like, spoilers for when we do the game of the year chat, it's my number one. Nothing's going to come out between now and then that's going to beat it. Um, and I've just thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. And I feel like it's defined this sort of latest chapter of my life. Again, and I know I've got a very heartfelt way with my list, but that's kind of how I see it. But yeah, that is the 10 games that define me, boys.
Love
Very
it.
good, Dave.
Love it. And I've talked a lot, and I've coughed a few times. So let's get to the main event. Why you're all here today? Why you've stayed for an hour and 42 minutes? Chris Pengelly.
Yes.
Have you got any honourable mentions before we go? Do you want
Yes.
us to guess? Do you want us to guess first? Is that what you want?
Oh, what the honourable mentions?
Or any of it, really?
Well, I've seen the list, so I could
Oh,
guess
have
some
you seen the
honourable
list?
mentions, I
Okay, you
guess.
guess the
Yeah,
honourable
it's in the chat, so don't
Oh, I've
look,
not looked.
Dave.
I've not
You
looked.
you guess some stuff, Dave, for it.
I mean, I'm assuming there's at least like 3 Kojima games on here.
There's Kojima games for
Yeah,
me, yes.
that, and because I think of games that I associate with Chris Pengelly. So, like, I associate Metal Gear Solid with Chris Pengelly.
That's on there.
I associate Last of Us with Chris Pengelly.
I
Shadow
don't
of
think
the
that's on there.
Shadow of the Colossus. I associate with Chris Pengelly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on
Um,
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fire Emblem Awakening, maybe,
No,
or
it's
Three
not on there.
Houses, and then The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker is the Chris Pengelly game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's probably what I'd associate.
Yeah, so this is weird because obviously, you mentioned this. Oh, Craig, let's do this tots, and I just put the first 10 games that came to my head on the list. But obviously, you're going through your list, Davey, and I did sort of mention it to you, chat like I don't know, an hour later or something. I was like, so I'm gonna do mine in order, and I've done them like sort of. release order sort of thing. So Mortal Kombat 2 is the first one on my list on the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh yeah.
So the Mega Drive is my first console. This is one of the very first games I had for it. Obviously, way too young to play it, but no one cared about age ratings back then on games. It was just like you could go to the video shop and rent like any video game. Like no one cared sort of thing. Me and my dad played this quite a lot. Played with him like on this weekends and stuff like that. Sort of thing. Like my dad even got like quite good at Mortal Kombat 2, and it's like going to the weekends to obviously lots changed since this, and like oh yeah, we would play Kombat 2 and stuff like that, and like I love that series and continued and things like that. But you like saying like games and like the kind of funny like where I seen this like Greg Miner of Ghostbusters, like should I have put more Mega Drive stuff on here? Should I have put a Sonic the Hedgehog? Should I put a Golden Axe? Should I play Streets of Rage? Because that was my first console, and if like wasn't for the Mega Drive, sort of a thing. But like Mortal Kombat 2 is like my one of my favorite, Mega Drive games, and like I said, the stuff around Mortal Kombat 2 as well, and there's the collection coming. I know, so it's out, but physical like thing, and I know it's got problems. But if like Mortal Kombat 2, if you somehow give me a Mega Drive controller, which you can do on like the Switch, you can get that NSO Mega Drive controller. I would be pretty good on it, but that is like the thing, sort of thing. Then continuing with like time sort of thing. So I've got two PS1 games on here. So I've got Metal Gear Solid. So like you said, Kojima is on here. So Metal Gear Solid. Like I said, I was a bit older. I think I was like nine-ish or something when Metal Gear Solid came out in the West. And but like I was playing Mortal Kombat 2 was like when I was like 3 or 4 or something. I guess I shouldn't be playing that. It was like Metal Gear Solid. Like I could understand story and like cinematics and stuff like things like that was so different to what I was been playing. Like before this, I was playing like Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, and stuff, and then you go from that to Metal Gear Solid. Like Final Fantasy 7, I did try to play like the video game shop renting that, and it's like the turn-based and stuff like just didn't quite. I played it like later with like Final Fantasy 9 and stuff like that, but it's like just couldn't like get it. But like Metal Gear Solid I did. Like the like also like my love for starting of like not that genre because I'm not actually that like I've never played the Hitman games really, and they've never particularly interested me stealth. But like the more cinematic story-based games, started like here with Metal Gear Solid and a little bit similar Resident Evil 2 on the PS1, 2, Mortal Kombat 2. Like, not my dad, but my uncle. And I remember him getting a PS1 before me, and he having Resident Evil or like Resident Evil 2, and like playing with him, and like unlocking like the extra costumes and stuff for like Leon and Claire, and all that stuff. And like, again, it like got me into like the horror genre of like I didn't play Resident Evil 2. I don't know if I doubt would I have played Silent Hill, would I have played like Fatal Frame, would I be like interested in Requiem next year and sort of thing. Like I don't like all horror games. Like I've never bothered with like the Outlast Trials games or whatever they're called, sort of thing. But like yeah, definitely started here with like the classic survival horror sort of thing. So it's them. Then moving on a little bit after that is I have got a Dreamcast representation here. I thought I better have one. Obviously, my Dreamcast collection is pretty big. I'm only missing like 5 or 6 games from like official Power Collection. Most people would know me for like the Dreamcast sort of thing. I put Shimu 2 as my Dreamcast game representation. Again, it falls a little bit into the Metal Gear Solid thing, where it's like more of a story-driven game, cinematics. Obviously, at the time, like the open world sort of thing. Shimu 1 did it like before like GTA 3 even, and Shimu 2 just like upped it, and like the detail and stuff in that game like at the time, like everything you could interact with and things like that, like you hadn't seen. It was like so different, and it was like also because it came out quite late here in things like like a Dreamcast game like in 2002 I think it came out with them thing. It was definitely all of 2001. It was definitely late, and like getting a new Dreamcast game was like really cool and like fun and different. And, yeah, it's really good sort of thing. So I got that. Then I thought I better have something for the original Xbox. Like that is my favorite sort of generation. The Dreamcast, PS2, original Xbox, GameCube is thing, and the original Xbox because after the Dreamcast died, actually sort of became my main console. I was like, what do I put for the original Xbox? Like, what it defined me? And you kind of, I think you said it, Craig. Some, I can't remember what game you said you played like so many times, finished it so many times. Was it Gears of War?
Yeah, it gets one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone for Fable because I think I must have finished Fable like at least 10 times. Obviously, you had lost chapters, and actually, I never finished Anniversary. But Fable, I've finished so many times on the original Xbox. It was so good. It was like a Western RPG. Again, I hadn't really played Western RPGs like on the. I hadn't really played them on the PS1, and like the PS2 would only been around like a couple of years then. The Dreamcast, obviously, with Sonic, Shenmue, and stuff like that. So it's like this is the Western sort of style RPG. Hadn't really played that sort of thing. It's like yeah, I played this game so many times. So when I think like the time and period of the original Xbox is that I could have put Halo. Do you think about Halo because of the multiplayer and like LAN and stuff like that of the Halo, but I don't know how it really defines me now of what I play games now because I don't really play multiplayer anymore. But I still play games like Fable, so that's why I went for Fable, sort of thing. Then Shadow of the Colossus for like the PS2 one. Um, this was like a sort of a late PS2 game, and like I dropped off the PS2 quite dramatically because I was like playing most of my games on the original Xbox. I was playing GameCube and stuff like. But I remember picking up Shadow of the Colossus. So I had like that. Actually played Ico, so I did kind of know it. But obviously, I had the cool cardboard sleeves thing and stuff like that, and I just loved it. And it was like so different at the time, like the no voice acting and stuff like that, but the story still being told through the world and anything like that, and like the more artsy side of it. Like if it wasn't, I think Shadow Colossus, even though it's not an indie, like if it came out now, it would be like sort of an indie sort of release, and like what you see from indies and stuff now. And I think like Shadow Colossus like was the first game of my love of like the like indies. Like I said, even though it's not, it kind of feels like one of like what games can do and what you can be. Again, like you talking through your list, like I think I should have put an indie in this list, but it's like what indie do I put in the list of my love of indies and Define Me? That's the certain one, and then like other things like that. Then I did put Wind Waker. It is like my favorite game of all time, but I also put it because Pokemon Black and White would have been a good shout. I don't know if which one of you mentioned it, because Pokemon Black and White did get me back into Nintendo because I dropped off Nintendo quite heavily with the Wii and DS. Didn't play that much of that. But post GameCube, again, the Nintendo wasn't really a thing. Like I had a Mega Drive, I had a PlayStation. That's when I was like, PlayStation 2. But Wind Waker, the GameCube, it's my first Zelda. It's what got me into Nintendo. I went back to play N64 afterwards. So like I played Ocarina of Time after Wind Waker and things like that. So it wasn't for the GameCube and Wind Waker, I don't think I would have got into Nintendo. But I did drop off, like I said, with the Wii and that. So Pokemon Black and White could have been one that maybe should have thought about on this list. So there's that. The next one, very similar to Shadow of the Colossus, and maybe this is the indie slot because it is technically is an indie, but it was published by PlayStation, but it was obviously developed by that game company. It's Journey. Little bit like Fable, I don't know how many times I finished Journey. I finish it like every other year, and sort of thing. I like suddenly go play Journey because it's not very long. It's like 90 minutes long. Um, and I think this is like the era, especially Xbox Live Arcade. I didn't put anything for that on here. Like this generation of the 360 PS3 is when like indies really boomed, and you could obviously had PSN and Xbox Live where you could put games like this out. And it's like the first one. And again, it goes back into the Shadow of the Colossus. Like this is more of a game. It's more of an art, like that sort of thing. Like it's all subjective. Like yeah, I know you're not a huge fan of it, Dave, because it's more of an art piece than a game, but it's that sort of thing. And it's like, what does Chris Pengelly like? He likes this sort of, game.
He does.
Then, yeah, it's a thing. Then sticking also to another PS3 game. So I got like nothing from the Xbox 360, but I do have. I had to. It's again. It's like, should I put something from the 360? Well, like, what would I have put from the 360? I'm not really sure. Like, I did play, like, multiplayer wise, like, you guys saying Guitar Hero and COD and that. I played a ton of Burnout Paradise. But if I said either of you, like, does Burnout Paradise define me? You would most probably go, no. So it's like, yeah, it's a weird one, sort of thing. But what I do think does, from that generation, and still today, playing this sort of game, and this is like, if you ask me what is my like definition of a video game, what is my video like game of choice, and you kind of got it, Dave, with Last of Us, but it's not Last of Us. I went for Uncharted 2.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, it's like the play. This is like the very first PlayStation Triple A. I know they've changed over time where you get the sidekick and you normally get like, the one, the adult and the kid, and one of them's got either daddy issues or something now that they've all got, and sort of, sort of thing. But this is like the first game to do that, and it's like, yep, ever since, it's like any not first person, first party PlayStation game is sort of followed the Uncharted 2 blueprint, and this is like where it's all like started. And he was like, what is a Chris Pengelly game? It is Ghost of Yota. You know, next year Wolverine is going to be a Chris Pengelly game. You know, Intergalactic is going to be my game, etc., etc. And it all come from Uncharted 2 thing. And before I get to the last one, a few other things I thought of as well. So obviously, you mentioned obviously Vita. I do have a really big PSP and Vita collection, but I was like, what PSP or Vita game do I put? I did
Just
think
Dance.
that's Wii U. See, Wii U.
Ugh.
I like could have put something for Wii U. I love the Wii U. I like the PSP and the Vita. I was like, what do you put? Do you put a Persona 4 Golden, for instance, on there? Like, do you put Danganronpa, like something that's completely out there, sort of thing? But like, I love Danganronpa on the Vita. It's such a great game. Or like a Birth by Sleep on the PSP. That's a few things. Like, I do love those consoles and things. And then like, we joking like VR. Like, I have dabbled in VR and stuff like that. Like Tetris Effect and that, but like a music rhythm game, I don't really defines me. And then like obviously I've owned like every console in the history of consoles. It's like I like the Atari Jaguar and stuff like that, and I've like had a 3DO, I've had a CDI. Like I was tempted to put like a Tempest 2000 on this list as like, well, I'm putting Tempest 2000 because it's like one of the best games on the other consoles, and it's like, oh, why have you put that? Oh, because I've owned all these other consoles, and this is the game I want to represent them. So it's like bits and pieces from other consoles. Fire Emblem, like Fire Emblem's most probably my favorite Nintendo series now, which started with Awakening, sort of thing. So it's there. So there's a few honorable mentions, but the last one that did make my list, and the newest game on this list from the PS4 and technically a PS5 because there is a director's cut, is Death Stranding.
Nice.
Yeah, because Death Stranding sort of does everything. That is thing is like big single player first party Sony game that it's got all the story, it's got the Kojima-ness of it, it's got the cut scenes, it goes back to like your Metal Gears. There's like it goes back to like Shenmue, so that's like really like slow paced and walking. You got the walking sim element of Death Stranding. It does accomplish quite a few of these games, like even Journey. You're walking straight and you're going up a mountain, sort of thing. I can definitely you can see the ties between the Journey and the Death Stranding. Um, from there and stuff like that, even the Shadow of Colossus sort of thing. So it kind of made the most sense of going that. And that is why games going from like Mortal Kombat 2 on the Mega Drive to Death Stranding on, I guess you could say PS5 all the way up to now.
And there we go.
Mhm.
Beautifully done, Pengi.
That is the Save Stop 3 Boys defined. Up until this point, obviously, the next 10 games that define us, who knows what they'll be. When we do this in episode 1200, when we've all got kids and we're all old. And Pengi
Mhm.
might be a robot by then. We don't know yet.
It could be.
Pengi could be a head,
Could be a brain in a jar.
head in a jar.
Hmm.
Still, PlayStation 25, the only console. The Google box is dead again.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you for watching the episode. If you've got this far, let us know below what 10 games define you as we get to almost 2 hours. But yeah, I've been your F Gizmo. That's been Massive Das. That's been Craig being Craig, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.